Hello everyone, today's video is about anime, and specifically dubbed anime. I've come to find that a lot of dub watchers, a lot of people that watch anime dubbed, get criticised for it and judged by sub-watchers. And I personally think it's really unfair. And today my plan is to basically explain why I believe it's unfair and why I think, people that watch anime dubbed should be equally respected as those that watch it subbed. Now, I myself am a mostly dub watcher. I will watch subs as well, since there are so many anime that have never been dubbed and will probably never be dubbed. So I will watch anime subbed, but dub is like my main preference overall. One thing I'd like to make perfectly clear is that there's nothing wrong with preferring to watch anime subbed. Like, if you prefer anime subbed, that is absolutely fine. I can see why. It is the way that, it is like the original voice acting, essentially. So I do understand completely why someone would prefer to watch anime in subtitles. But I do think that if someone else prefers to watch anime dubbed, that should be respected. And here are some of my reasons for this. Now, many people say that subtitles are more accurate to the original Japanese, and that dubs tend to have translation errors and things that don't completely translate the way they should. To this, I would say this isn't necessarily the case. It really depends on the anime. Not subtitles aren't always more accurate to the Japanese than what English dubs are. It actually really depends. One example is the Fruits Basket remake. Shigure says a line where in the original Japanese, he actually says something, at least according to those that, have read the manga and are familiar with Japanese, what he actually says in the original is, he says, "I do wish Akato would understand." And it makes sense. This does make sense if you actually watch the show. Whereas in the subtitled version, they actually translate it to something completely different. They translate it to this. They make him say that, "Oh, I wish Akato would teach the kids a lesson already." And that completely changes Shigure's character to something completely different. And people watching this episode were confused, like, what? What is up with this guy? Why would he say that? When it is just a translation error. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the dubbed version is more accurate. This is what he says in the dubbed version.
"Oh, Akito, you've been blind to so much for too long."
As you can see, this actually is much more accurate to that original Japanese. Like, it is closer to it. It's not completely the same, which is understandable, but it's not. But it is closer to the original than what the subtitle version is, which completely changes his character. Now, by this, I'm not saying, dubs are clearly more accurate than subtitles. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that you can't necessarily generalise. Like, something being subbed doesn't always mean it's going to be more accurate. Both sub and dub can have their translation errors. That's pretty clear, I would say. The second reason for why people bring up that subs are better than dub is that dubs are simply awful. And that the characters all speak in monotone voices, and they don't have the same level of emotion and stuff like that, and the voice acting is terrible. To which I would say this isn't always the case. I personally think that there are some dubs that are very good. I think the dub for Death Note is really good.
"Just watch me, L. I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip and eat it."
The dub for Black Lagoon is fantastic.
"You don't get it, do ya? You just don't get it, do you, Dutch? Think about it. We're getting paid 20 grand for this job. Only 20 grand! What's wrong with collecting a bonus by asking for a ransom?"
"You're being too simple-minded."
"You wanna die, Benny?"
And so does Black Butler. I think John Michael Tatum, I think voices Sebastian perfectly. Like, I think it is pitch perfect casting in the English dub.
"The sugar will give you energy." "Oh, yes. And Bart, a workman will be coming by in the morning. When he arrives, kindly let him know we'll be needing our oven thoroughly cleaned."
So I really cannot agree that dubs are always bad. I feel like a number of people will just say, the dub is terrible. Like, a number of people will just say something is bad just because it's a dub. which I personally just think is a bit unfair. Now, a lot of people do also say that the English dub voices just don't sound quite as good as what the Japanese voices do, and they don't fit the characters quite as well. And in some cases, I can actually agree on this. One example is with Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Now, Kanna's Japanese voice is really adorable, and it really just adds to the cuteness of the character, essentially.
マッチを買え。これだ。マッチはいりませんか？
Whereas in English, she sounds more like this.
Matches. Please buy some matches. I'm excited. Do you want to buy any matches, please?
Now, the English dub isn't bad, but it doesn't really sound quite as good as what the Japanese version does. Like, it just doesn't doesn't really add to this level of kawaii. And there are a number of other cases where the Japanese voices are much, much better at this. So if this is the reason why you prefer Japanese to watch anime in subtitles, I do 100% understand. You might also be wondering now, well, if that's the case, then why is it that you prefer to watch anime dubbed? And why is it that people would want to watch anime dubbed? Well, here's one of the main reasons for me personally. It's not that I think English dub is always better than sub or anything like that, but it's simply for the reason that I have some reading difficulties, if you know what I'm saying, and I have a hard time actually reading fast enough to keep up with subtitles and processing all the information that comes from reading subtitles. Keeping up with subtitles at the same time as focusing on the plot is quite hard for me, if you know what I'm saying, and it is for some other people as well. And that is one of the main reasons why many people prefer to watch anime dubbed, is because they don't have to read all the subtitles. Now, a lot of people that watch subbed anime, when I say this, they'll bring up stuff like, oh, well, it becomes easier. Like, if you do it more, it becomes easier, and it won't become a problem anymore the more you do it. Now, this is something which I do agree on. Like, when I was new to anime, I would only ever watch an anime if it had an English dub, and if it didn't, I would just not watch it. Whereas now, I will watch anime subbed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will do. I am at the point where I am able to enjoy an anime. If there's subtitles now, by this point, I'm able to enjoy it. Like, it has become easier to keep up with subtitles over time. The more I've had to do it, it has become easier. But I can get more focused on it if I can just, it's all in English, and I don't have to focus my eyes on this reading at the same time as actually taking in the story. And like, for me personally, the version which I enjoy most takes priority over the version which may technically be the better version. So for this reason, I would say that people that watch anime dubbed should be free to watch anime dubbed. They have their reasons to. Like, not everyone is a super fast reader. I've also seen people say stuff like, oh, but it's not that hard. Have you tried reading subtitles? It's actually not that hard. You can do it pretty well. You should be able to. But the fact of the matter is, it's different for everybody. Like, one person might be able to do it easily, no problem, but that doesn't mean every single person around will be able to keep up with subtitles. It depends on the person. Like, some people are faster readers than others are. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everyone is like a super fast reader. And not everyone can multitask really well either. In the end, I will say that I personally feel like sub watchers and dub watchers should, in general, just respect each other, and not everyone has to have the same preference of watching anime as you do. You know, like, if someone wants to watch anime dubbed, that's fine. If someone wants to watch anime subbed, that's also fine. We all have our own preferences, and and I feel like forcing someone, or actually like judging them because they don't watch anime the same way you do, I think is really unfair. If you want to understand more about my difficulties with reading and why I might struggle to read subtitles, please do check out the video on my other channel. I'll put a link to this here, or at the end of the video. Please do check it out. Hopefully it will help you to understand the reasons why someone might struggle to keep up with subtitles. I thank you all for watching. Please do leave me your thoughts in the comments below, but please, let's try to keep the comments civil. Thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye for now.